What happens when one of Hollywood's most powerful figures sits down for what should be a relaxed morning show appearance, only for the entire discussion to spiral into one of the most awkward television moments in recent years? Tyler Perry, the billionaire filmmaker behind countless hit movies and iconic characters, stunned viewers when he walked off the Good Morning America set after a heated clash with co-host Michael Strahan that left the studio frozen in disbelief. This was not a small misunderstanding or a mild disagreement. This was a serious confrontation that revealed tensions nobody expected. And before we break down every moment of how this situation unraveled, make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below, because this is one conversation people are still arguing about. The interview began calmly enough. Tyler Perry stepped onto the Good Morning America set with his familiar composed presence, taking a seat across from Michael Strahan. At first, everything felt normal. Strahan welcomed him warmly, thanked him for coming, and congratulated him on his latest project. Perry smiled politely, nodded, and appeared ready for what most people assumed would be another routine promotional interview. But just a few minutes in, the mood started to change in a way that caught everyone off guard. Strahan leaned forward and shifted from friendly opening remarks to something sharper. "Tyler, you've built a massive empire, there's no denying that," Strahan said. "But recently there's been a lot of discussion about representation in your films, especially regarding how black men are portrayed. Some critics say your work relies too much on stereotypes. How do you respond to that?" Perry's expression changed instantly. His smile disappeared, replaced by a serious, guarded look. He paused for a moment, took a breath, and then answered. "Michael, I respect the question, but I think there's a basic misunderstanding about what I do," Perry said, keeping his voice controlled but firm. "I tell stories for an audience that has been ignored for decades. My characters are not stereotypes. They are reflections of real people from real communities. If certain critics don't understand that, maybe they're not who I'm speaking to." Strahan didn't ease up. "But Tyler, when you have the level of influence you have, when you're one of the few black creators with this much power in Hollywood, isn't there a responsibility to challenge those images instead of reinforcing them?" "Some people feel this kind of portrayal sets us back." The phrase "sets us back" lingered in the air, and Perry reacted immediately. "Sets us back," Perry repeated, his voice lifting slightly. "Michael, with all respect, I don't think you get to decide what sets us back. I've employed thousands of black actors, writers, and crew members. I've told stories that major studios refused to touch. I built something from nothing, and now I'm expected to sit here and defend my work like I'm the issue." Strahan stayed steady, leaning back slightly but maintaining eye contact. "I'm not saying you're the issue, Tyler. I'm asking whether you believe the criticism has merit. There are black filmmakers and actors, people from within the community, who have raised these concerns. Are you saying their voices don't matter?" Perry let out a short laugh, but there was no humor in it. "Their voices matter, but so does mine. You know what's interesting, Michael? I've been doing this for more than 20 years. I've faced rejection, discrimination, and obstacles at every step. And now that I've succeeded, now that I've built something too big to ignore, everyone suddenly wants to tear it down. Where were these critics when I was struggling? Where were they when studios were shutting doors in my face?" The studio fell silent. Crew members, producers, and even the other hosts nearby looked tense, unsure whether to step in or let things continue. Strahan, to his credit, didn't pull back. "I hear you, Tyler, and no one is dismissing your success. But success doesn't make anyone immune to criticism. It comes with visibility." Perry slowly shook his head, his frustration more obvious now. "Criticism is fine, Michael. I welcome real discussion. But what I don't appreciate is being blindsided on a morning show that's supposed to celebrate my work. You're framing this like I owe someone an apology, and I don't." Strahan's expression shifted, a flicker of irritation crossing his face. "I'm not trying to blindside you. I'm asking questions many people want answers to. That's part of journalism." Perry leaned forward, his tone sharper. "Journalism? Michael, This isn't journalism. This feels like a setup disguised as an interview. You invited me here to talk about my project, and instead you're putting me on trial. If this was the conversation you wanted, you should have been honest about it. The tension became thick. Strahan started to respond, but Perry kept going. Let's be honest. You're questioning my contribution to the black community. But where is this same energy when you interview people who've done far less? Where is this intensity when guests who've actually harmed our community sit in the chair? It's interesting that I'm the one being grilled. Strahan's face tightened. That's not fair, Tyler. I ask tough questions to everyone. Don't make this personal. Perry laughed again. That same bitter tone. It became personal the moment you framed it this way. You think I don't understand how this works? The energy in the room had completely shifted. What started as a standard interview had turned into a standoff. Strahan tried to regain control, his voice calm but strained. Tyler, I think you're misunderstanding my intent. I'm not attacking you. I'm giving you space to address public concerns. Perry cut him off. An opportunity? Michael, don't frame this as a favor. Putting me on the spot to defend myself on live television isn't an opportunity. It's a trap. Strahan's patience was thinning. A trap? Tyler, you're a public figure. People have opinions about your work. I'm asking you to engage with them. Perry shifted in his seat, half rising. Engage how? By agreeing with you? By admitting that everything I've built is somehow wrong? That's not engagement, that's surrender. Off camera, producers were visibly panicking. One stepped forward as if to cut to commercial, but Strahan waved them away. Nobody's asking you to surrender, Strahan said. But maybe there's room for growth in how these stories are told. Perry stared at him. Growth? Michael, I don't need lessons on growth from someone who's spent his career playing it safe. It's easy to critique when you've never taken the risks I have. The studio went dead quiet. That's out of line, Strahan said quietly but firmly. You don't know the risks I've taken. Perry leaned back, folding his arms. You're right, and you don't know mine. The difference is I'm not questioning your legacy. Strahan took a breath. This isn't about legacy. It's about accountability. Accountability to who? Perry asked sharply. To you. To critics who've never built anything? I answer to my audience. The breaking point arrived fast. Producers were now openly trying to intervene. Then Strahan said, your audience deserves better. Perry froze. Slowly, he stood up. We're done here, he said calmly. Strahan stood as well, hands raised. Tyler, sit down. Let's finish this like adults. Perry removed his mic. Adults don't ambush people on national TV. You want a real discussion? Call me. This is theater, and I'm not performing. Strahan hardened. You're walking away because you can't handle criticism. Perry stopped and turned back, his eyes cold. I've handled criticism my entire life. Don't ever tell me I can't. Then prove it, Strahan said. Sit down and defend your work. Perry laughed without warmth. You want to build credibility by tearing me down. I'm not giving you that. The accusation hung heavy. Strahan snapped back that this wasn't about him. Perry stepped forward. My films have created jobs, told stories, and changed lives. What have you built? The insult landed hard. Strahan clenched his fists. Perry dismissed his questions as shallow talking points meant for ratings. The tension nearly boiled over until a producer stepped between them. Perry told them he was leaving. Strahan accused him of running. Perry replied that he didn't care what people thought. Strahan pushed again, accusing Perry of hiding behind success. Perry calmly called out the exploitation, saying the interview was designed for conflict. When Strahan accused Perry of exploiting stereotypes, the room froze. Perry stared at him, then spoke slowly, saying Strahan had revealed his true intentions. Perry ended it there. He congratulated Strahan for getting his moment and walked off. No one stopped him. As Perry exited, Strahan called after him, saying the questions would continue. Perry replied that he owed no explanations. He disappeared from the set, leaving behind stunned faces and a shaken host. The cameras kept rolling as producers rushed in. So what do you think about this entire situation? Was Tyler Perry right to walk away, or should he have stayed and continued the conversation? Share your thoughts in the comments. And make sure you subscribe because we'll be covering everything that followed this explosive interview.